I'm going to keep this one short and sweet. It's too hot to be video blogging today. The second home opener came and went. Unfortunately, the Reds lost the game 1-0 versus FC Dallas, who were really, really strong last night, a really good, strong Major League Soccer opponent. They're a very, very good team. Brek Shea's goal was a wonder goal. I think it's going to be goal of the week this week in Major League Soccer. Again, very, very strong club to see some of our newcomers come up against. My question for Toronto FC fans is, realistically, what did you expect going into this game? If you expected every problem, every issue, every difficulty that this club is having or has had, that we're going to be wiped away clean by one transfer window, I think you're delusional. There you go, I said it. I think you're delusional if you think that's going to happen. There were 5 newcomers on the pitch last night. Most of those 5 haven't played a competitive game in months. Kubermans hasn't played since May. He looked slow last night, out of game shape. Had a couple of nice chances. One, a beautiful laser beam shot in about the 30th minute, and one ball that kind of got caught up in his feet in the box in injury time that would have seen the Reds maybe secure a late point. Torsten Frings is exactly as advertised. He is a world-class player that makes everybody around him better. I really can't sum it up any more succinctly than that. And I think it's interesting as well that he was taking a leadership position immediately on the field by taking every single free kick and corner kick last night as well. Ryan Johnson, big and fast, looked fairly decent out wide, a little rusty. But he had some flashes last night that I thought were quite interesting. Andy Iro didn't have the greatest of games last night. Again, I think it's a matter of rust and getting comfortable with the system and with the position. Viator, the guy they signed Wednesday, a couple hours before the game, had a poor game. I'm going to give him a mulligan considering he's been out of contract for a while, hasn't played since the Gold Cup with Guadeloupe, and he was playing out of position. The other thing, very quickly, I want to actually ask TFC fans is this. What would your expectations be if Borman, who was really bad last night, Harden, who was really bad last night, and Urosowski, who was really bad last night, all 3 of those guys were in on the goal that Brek Shea actually scored last night. All 3 of them sort of blew their coverages on that one. If those 3 are on the bench, and we've got guys like maybe Gargan coming in for Borman, Gargan has been playing pretty well as of late. You've got Julian de Guzman and Terry Dunfield coming in and playing, and you've got Richard Eckersley coming back as well, and Harden sits on the bench. Don't you think Toronto FC is a much better team than they were last night? And even last night, they showed some glimpses of being a significantly improved product than what we saw before the transfer window. So 3 of those guys, hopefully de Guzman will be back. Dunfield should be. Eckersley will be back this weekend in Kansas City. It should be a much more competitive side that TFC puts on the pitch in Kansas City this weekend. And of course, we've got that absolutely critical game against Real Esteli next week from Nicaragua on the books as well. And it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Speaking of interesting, I thought it was interesting, and this is an anecdote from a good friend of mine. He was able to pick up 6 tickets in a row in the south end of the stadium, section 112, on Monday of this week, 9 days out from the game. I really think the Reds front office got the pricing wrong, and there's been hardly any promotion to anything other than the hardcore fans of what's going to be one of the biggest games of the season, the Champions League qualifier match against the Nicaraguan side next week. I think it's going to lead to probably the lowest attendance that we've ever seen at BMO Field. I think it's going to be well less than 10,000. Again, maybe I should do a poll on that. Thanks again for watching. I'm going to try and cool off and stay away from melting like I'm sure everybody else is in the city. You folks have a good day, and we'll talk to you soon. Cheers.